So I'm going to take you through the steps of drawing the example that I showed you. I'd like you to go ahead and measure your horizon line so that it's parallel to the bottom of your picture plane. I'm just going to put mine at 5.5 inches because that's the center of the paper. So I'm measuring 11 inches, and half of 11 is 5.5 inches. So I'm choosing to place my horizon line at the center of the paper. And then I'm just going to put a vanishing point kind of in the center. So again, we're using the rules of perspective to study the behavior of shapes in perspective and forms in perspective. But these are just practicing with the rules. In real space, when you're looking at things in perspective, you would actually have to sight and align and make measurements, right? So these are rudimentary rules. I'm going to make my cubes 1.5 inches square with a 1.5 inch space between them. So I'm counting out 1.5 inches all the way down. Okay. All I've done was create 1.5 inch spaces. Okay. So I'm going to connect these lines, but not all the way. They're just showing me where the square is going to be, right? So you don't want to draw a line straight through, because remember, we're creating a row of cubes up here and a row of cubes down here. Now I'm choosing to make the bottoms of the cubes 1.5 inches up from the horizon line and 1.5 inches down from the horizon line. The cubes that are going to be under the horizon line are going to be 1.5 inches down. So this is the cube, and these are the spaces. Okay, these are the cubes, these are the spaces. You don't need to draw a line all the way across. Just draw a line indicating the tops of the cubes. And just draw a line indicating the bottoms of the cubes. Now I'm connecting the sides of the square. Excuse me. I've been calling them cubes, but they're not cubes yet. They're squares. Now I want my squares that are going to be cubes to be 1.5 inches high by 1.5 inches wide, right? Because a square has 4 equal sides. So I'm going to measure up 1.5 inches from the bottom of these set of squares at the top, above the horizon line. And I'm going to make the squares at the bottom 1.5 inches high. Okay, so I've drawn 8 squares that are 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches each, with 1.5 inch spaces between them, and then there's a 1.5 inch space below the top squares to the horizon line and above the bottom squares to the horizon line. I'm going to erase the excess. So remember, this is why you want to keep your guidelines light, because you want to give yourself the ability to get rid of excess lines that you don't need. So now I have my 8 squares. Now before we move forward, remember, again, the square has 4 sides that are equal distance, right? And then it has, you're looking at 4 vertices. So the corners are called a vertex. In plural, each vertex together are 4 vertices.